Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Generation X Nation. First things first, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, watched the video, left a comment. You know I get back to you guys. I really do. And I definitely appreciate all the support I have been receiving lately. Now, as you can see on the thumbnail, this is all things Married to Medicine. We're going to discuss real quick the Toya Harris Bush interview that she did on Carlos King's platform. And I will say this about Carlos. Like him or love him, he does great interviews. And you have to give props and respect where it's due. And I think he does a good job bringing out things out of people that they don't normally want to talk about or they don't talk about on these shows. He's able to really drag some information out of Toya that she really don't discuss, that she really hasn't discussed on the shows. And I found it very interesting. And it did sum up a little bit of why Toya acts that way. Now, I know some people still don't care. They just, determined not to like Toya. I can care less, as I always say. I don't have a dog in this fight. I try to do fair commentary. And at the end of the day, everything is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. As always, alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Now, Toya revealed a lot during this interview, and I'm just going to go over some key things that I noticed. While Carlos was talking to her, it seemed like she took over the interview. So I'm thinking the interview was really for Toya, and somewhere along the line, Eugene just stepped in and said a few things. And even when Eugene was on the stage or sitting in a chair next to Toya, she still did most of the talking. So Toya, you didn't kind of you didn't dispel the myth that you kind of control things a lot or you like being in control. That's what I got of it. And Gene apparently is okay with you being in control because he allowed you to just speak. One thing Toya did discuss that I found interesting is the reason she is so loud and outspoken is because she come from a household where she wasn't allowed to speak or voice her opinion. Um, I think that can affect you sometimes because a lot of us, especially old school people, grew up that way. Where our parents was like, I don't care what your opinion is. You ain't paying no bills up in here. You ain't paying the mortgage, the rent, whatever the case may be. So you don't have an opinion. When you get 18 and get out of my house, then you can have an opinion. That was a philosophy for families back in the day. And it seems like she had several siblings in the house. So I can completely understand why Toya said her voice was not heard as a child. But it's not unnormal for that to happen. It's not something that's strange, especially in African American households back then. But I guess now that she's adult, she's able to allow her voice to be heard. She won't shut up. That's all I'm saying. Now, Eugene, he kind of pacifies Toya and he lets her say these things. And then it seemed like he kept making excuses for her bad behavior. I get what he's saying. He loves his wife, he cherishes his wife. Now, I would not take away from Latoya being a absolutely beautiful. Latoya is absolutely gorgeous. Okay. And she's a great mother. I've never seen an episode where she was not pouring into her children. So I do like that. But at the same time, I'm like, you're a great mother. You're absolutely beautiful, but you're not always a good wife to your husband. And I get it. They're in therapy and they're trying to fix things. I just felt like during the whole interview, Eugene was making excuses for everything Toya was saying. And even when Carlos asked her, he said, hey, people were actually happy that Eugene finally stood up to you. And she said, well, I find that funny because you're okay with a man, I guess, chewing out or being volatile toward a woman. And Eugene said, well, I wasn't really that volatile. He had to bring it down a notch. And I'm like, I don't think it was they were happy Eugene was snapping on you. I think they was happy that he finally stood up for himself because in their eyes, the viewers' eyes, all we see is you going after him. I'm sure you love your husband. I'm not taking that away from you. But I also see you constantly just, I don't know, somewhat belittling the man. And then the whole issue with Eugene's private parts, that seems to bother him still to this day. And Toya, you did say that. And I know Eugene tried to clean it up and say she wasn't specifically talking about me, or she was saying she didn't specifically talk about me. You kind of did, Toya. You kind of alluded to that. If y'all go back and watch that episode, in that conversation, in that moment, who would she have been talking about? It looked just like that's what you were saying. Now, you know, all of you medicine women know, anything you tell Dr. Heavenly, she gonna put it in her back in her brain cell in her pocket, and she gonna wait to the right time to throw it back at you, especially if it's something negative. She's done this the whole season. If you look at my last week's review, I've said that Heavenly has had it out with almost every girl in that show because they have told her something in private and she brung it up in public. Contessa, Simone right now, her and Jackie didn't get along initially. This is not new for Dr. Heavenly. But one thing I did notice or found out about Toya, Toya does not like Mimi. She does not like Heavenly. She's so with Quad. And Simone is her and Brandy's her girl. And if you look at my video from last week, I said Brandy acts like Toya and Angel acts like Quad. So, with that being said, apparently they're happy the way their marriage dynamics is. They're getting the help they need. And Eugene was up here talking about the hormone imbalance is what's going on too. And I understand some of that because women do go through a change, men go through somewhat of a change too. And I understand your testosterone and hormone levels are unbalanced and it causes mood. I'm not saying there's maybe some truth to what Eugene was saying, but and he's a doctor, so I'm definitely not questioning the doctor. But I just felt like Eugene was pulling rabbits out of his hat to justify his wife's behavior instead of just saying Toya has some anger issues that may have stemmed from her childhood that she might need to work on. Instead of just saying that and go to therapy and get that done, he is making every excuse possible. He told us that he had been drinking all day at that food party when Toya went off on him. And she said she was mad because Eugene was drunk and not paying attention to her. The party was 4 hours, but they only showed maybe 30, 40 minutes of the party when she was going off on Eugene. Eugene didn't look that drunk to me. I'm sorry. Then she said, Eugene gets angry. He slams doors and scream all over the house. If that has happened on camera at least once, Toya, why haven't they ever filmed it and showed it to us? Never once. And you say, oh, they always filming me and cutting this out. There's never been an episode where they've shown Eugene snap except for that one time. So either Eugene waits till y'all stop filming for the season and go off, or something's not adding up. The math, this ain't math to me because we see you go off on a regular basis, Toya. Damn near almost every episode, Toya's gonna go off on somebody. So I get it. I understand, people's upbringings and backgrounds may contribute to how they behave as an adult. I'm not knocking that. But Toya, you said you've been with Eugene almost 20 years. I got 2 kids. At some point, you have to realize that what you're doing to your husband is not right. You should have figured that out by now. I mean, I don't think the people on the show and the social media, the people you're trying to impress, your friends, I don't think they're constantly telling you this every season if it's not true. Just something to look at. Now, one thing I noticed about Toya, she decided to let the world know, which we already knew, that King and Quad were no longer a couple. And while they were filming, they think it was over. We could tell that, Toya. We didn't need you to tell us that. Everybody have been saying it. We all seen the distance between King and Quad. Now, Toya and Eugene are now friends with King. Or Kurt King, they call him King. His name is Kurt. I thought that was kind of, I don't know, weird, but I guess it's okay because King does seem like a wonderful guy. Now, Eugene was able to analyze that relationship perfectly. I wish he'd used the same method analyzing his marriage, the way he analyzed Quad's and King's relationship, because the way he analyzed it and explained it to us, we all seen it coming. I said in my last, you guys got to go back and look at some of my videos. That's why I say y'all need to be subscribing to my dang on channel. Because I said Quad seemed more focused on the baby than King. All I heard from her was IVF, flying back and forth to Ghana, her eggs. And y'all hadn't even decided if y'all wanted to live together. King didn't want to live with you. You didn't want to live with him. That was red flag. Y'all didn't have any engagement ring. So it wasn't a formal relationship. I believe y'all actually cared and liked each other and maybe possibly was going toward loving each other. But as Eugene said, you were focused on the baby. The viewers could see it. Every episode it was about the baby. And I kept thinking, is this a race to get pregnant to outdo Sweet Tea? I don't get it. And I'm not saying you were trying to prove anything to Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea, but it seemed like you was trying to prove something to Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea because you were so focused on having this baby, which I thought had y'all conceived would have been an absolute gorgeous child because both of y'all are very attractive people. And maybe that's what you were trying to do, bringing this beautiful black baby into the world. I don't know. But you never focus on engagements, living together, buying a home together, what your future looked like. It was baby, baby, baby. And King already had children. And this is another warning to like women sometimes. Be careful when you're dating a guy and you just, you guys are trying to start a family because if he already have children in a previous relationship or been married before, sometimes they not in a big rush to have any more children. And if you don't have children, it will be a problem. And I just kind of felt like, Quad, you waited so long when you could have had a baby with Dr. Gregory. But like they say, maybe you really didn't like Dr. Gregory like that. Maybe it was just a marriage to get your little status up in the social scene around Atlanta, because that's what Mariah said. I'm just saying. But I noticed back in the day, and if you would look around the holidays, Quad was up in Nigeria. What's that? Daddy December, all of that with Yandy and Angel having a good time. And I'm like, well, why is King letting her go out of town without him? He's from Africa. Why would he fly over there with her? So I suspected something was going on in because she kept posting, but I didn't see her posting with King a lot. So I knew something was going on. Then, as the season came on, just King's behavior and the way he was talking to her. I think at the end of the day, King really initially liked Quad and wanted to get in a relationship with Quad. And Quad was using King more so as a storyline because he was fine and it would have looked believable. And then I think King kind of realized, hey, you're not really into this relationship, getting to know me and being a part of, building something together. It seemed like you're more focused on this child. And I get it because when he told her in that room, okay, we need this whole Ghana thing has to stop. I'm tired of going over there. It's not working. I'm taking away from my family here and my business. I knew King was done then. Like I said in the last video, when they was at the event and King said, countdown to the pop off, King was tired of Quad then. I could tell. And Quad was just faking for the cameras. I like Quad. I think Quad is absolutely gorgeous. I think she's good for the show. But sometimes Quad gives off a little bit fakery acting vibes. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, Toya spilled that, but I'm glad to see that King is still part of the men's circle and him Eugene has developed friendship. I don't know that's how this going to go going forward with Toya is friends with Quad or developing friendship with Quad. Maybe get a little awkward at times, and I eventually believe they're going to end up having to pick sides just like they had to do with Dr. Gregory. I'm just saying. And in that case, it seemed like Dr. Gregory may have lost because I don't see them film with Gregory that much. I think the guys may hang out with him, but they don't hang out with him during filming time. Okay. And last, we're going to talk about and again, Toya didn't get too deep into why they broke up. Eugene did the analyzing of the relationship, and he felt like Quad was focusing on the baby and not focusing on him. And again, Eugene, you ain't telling us nothing the viewers didn't know because we was watching and seeing it for ourselves. Like, good Lord, girl, can you just go have dinner with this man and not talk about the baby and just hang out with him? Just my opinion. Again, everything on my show is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Now let's move on to Dr. Jackie, Simone, and Heavenly, because this is a dynamic that I feel is probably on the brinks of breaking up a friendship of, I guess, 30 years or so, because apparently they knew each other since way back in college. Dr. Heavenly has came between Jackie and Simone. And like Toya said in the interview, she was telling them on the first season that her and Simone and Dr. Jackie, we are best buds. Y'all, nothing is going to ever come between us. I've said this before in previous commentary I've done. If you want to keep your best friend, keep your best friend off the show. Where has that worked out at? Hmm? Look at Shamika and no, I'm sorry, Shamia and Portia. They're no longer best friends because she came on that show. Look at if you go back to what is that couple? Love and Marriage Huntsville, Melody and all them crew. They no longer best friends. It is so many examples where you could see people. Oh, Evelyn and Jennifer. Evelyn, Jennifer, and Shawnee was running Miami at some point. And then by the end of basketball wise, whatever, they're barely friends. See, you come on that show and thinking the person is your ride or die, and then you realize behind the scenes your best friend probably was hating on you the whole time. Now, I don't know why Jackie won't stand up. But I know for sure when Jackie was going through her issue with her husband, when she caught him cheating, Simone was there for her. And when Simone was going through her issue with Cecil, with his friend that he wouldn't give up for her, Jackie was there for her. Okay. And that nothing should have ever broke up that bond. But here comes Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Evil, whatever y'all call her. Dr. Heavenly is a type of person who's technically nobody's friend. She's on the edge of the friendship, but if you tick her off, she'll spill all the beans on you. So I get why Toya doesn't trust her and don't really care to be close to her. And I understand Simone. Simone is like, look, because you are a friend, my dear friend, I'm going to give you a chance. But once you cross me, there's no coming back. And Simone and Jackie had broke up their friendship. Y'all remember a couple seasons back because of Heavenly. Heavenly didn't care. And if you think about it, one thing I can agree with Toya on, Heavy don't give a crap about nobody. She don't care who friendship she comes in and break up. She cool with that. She is cool with that. And then she says Heavenly will get on the phone and talk to all the new girls and try to get them in her corner. And then some people gravitate to Heavenly because they know if they get behind Heavenly, she will fight for them, i.e., Dr. Jackie. She has been fighting for Dr. Jackie since they became friends. And now she's doing it for Mimi. And I do appreciate Toya said, I don't need Mimi diagnosing us. And she's right. What I did get out of this whole interview is Toya don't like Mimi and Toya don't like Dr. Heavenly. She okay with Angel and she's building a friendship with Quad. But I agree with Toya on this. Dr. Jackie, you got to pick a team at this point. And I know you keep saying, I want to stand in the middle, stand in the middle. There's nothing wrong with kind of standing in the middle, but your loyalty should have been to Simone. It shouldn't even have been a question. I still would have been cordial with Dr. Heavenly, but if push come to shove, I got to take Simone's side. I don't know how you let Heavenly get in here. Heavenly is the most messiest person on the show. She's supposed to be a friend of the show, but I see her in every episode. So I understand what Toya is saying. Toya is spilling the beans on everybody. She don't care. After this all aired, Simone goes and unfollow Jackie. That's when you know the stuff is real. That's when you know shit then got deep. Because for her to unfollow her best friend of 30 plus years, that gotta hurt. Jackie delivered Simone's baby. See, remember all of that. That's how close they was. Jackie delivered them big head boys Simone got. Jackie did. That's how long she has been in her life. And y'all let Heavenly come in here with her messy behind and destroy that friendship. And everybody seems to think it's okay. And it's not. Because Quad, you remember you and Heavenly was going back and forth when she was doing on her little podcast talking about you. Y'all know how Heavenly could be. That's not to say Heavenly don't have some good points about her. I appreciate she speaks her mind, but I think she was wrong for that. Okay. I think Dr. Jackie, I always said, is in the middle and she needs to speak up and she needs to take a side or she needs to stand on business and stop trying to play back and forth. But overall, I believe it was a really, really good interview. I appreciate Toya as always being honest. Toya don't hold nothing back. If y'all can say what y'all want to say about Toya, but one thing about her, she doesn't hold anything back. She speaks her mind. So, and being on reality TV, she makes for good TV because she don't know how to shut up. You know what I'm saying? She said, hey, Jackie is nice, nasty. And she is. We seen how Jackie did Buffy. We seen how Jackie did Buffy when it came to that pregnancy thing. We seen when Jackie talked about Heavenly in her weight. We've seen Jackie be nice, nasty. When Brandy came on, she talked about her doggone actually she have a thyroid problem. Come on, y'all. Jackie ain't always the nicest person. And speaking of Brandy, Brandy gets along with Toya because Brandy acts just like Toya. I love Brandy Shade because she speaks her mind and she doesn't let them coerce her into taking one side or another. Brandy thinks for herself. Angel, I don't know. Angel just seems like I like her. She's beautiful. This whole cast is some beautiful women. I will give them that. But Angel seems like she's going to roll with Quad. Angel has Quad behavior and Quad's mannerisms to me. Okay, Dr. Mimi kind of on the fence, but she's leaning more toward I'm gonna hang out with Heavenly over there because I don't want to be bullied. But Dr. Mimi, you got to stop psychoanalyzing these people. And I don't know what the end result is going to be with this three friend group, but at the end of the day, these ladies need to figure it out. They need to figure it out. But if you notice, she never brought Contessa up. So I guess it's all good on Contessa's side of the world. But with that being said, Toya did a great interview. I thought she let a lot of things out that we don't see or hear about. And I love when she said, I don't need Dr. Mimi counting my drinks and whatnot. Toya, you probably do need somebody to count your drinks because I'm gonna just tell you something. You definitely, uh, you definitely can put that tequila up, okay? You can definitely put that tequila away. And one thing I didn't notice before I get off here, I didn't know that I thought the men on this show got paid, but I guess if they don't make a contract with their wife, they don't get paid. So they're on here just voluntarily supporting their wife. And I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But CISO, like she said, CISO may be getting some money from Simone. CISO, go and get your check from Simone. I think Kurt may be getting some money too. I think Kirk may be getting some money from Dr. Jackie. Um, and at the end of the day, I will say this. Toya is one highly intelligent, beautiful lady who knows what she wants in life and she tries to keep everything under control. And if it's not going the way she wants it to go, that's when she snaps. Eugene is, oh my God, he is a highly intelligent Black doctor. He is so smart, he's handsome, and I don't think he's going anywhere because, as he said in that interview, Latoya Bush Harris is his dream girl. She is the trophy wife. He has provided her two beautiful children and a soft life and anything she wants. Eugene is never leaving Toya. So if y'all in his DMs, you might as well go and delete those messages out because he would never respond to you. Toya is it for him. The only way that marriage ends if Toya walks away. And I can guarantee Eugene will be devastated, but he won't run short of women trying to get after him. Toya is not stupid. Toya already knows there is no other man on the planet, regardless how beautiful I am, because Atlanta is full of a lot of beautiful African American women or women of all shapes, colors, and sizes down there. Regardless of how beautiful Toya is, there's another one in the wing waiting if she let Eugene go. Toya ain't crazy. She's never letting Eugene go. So y'all can forget ever wishing that upon yourself that you can get with Eugene. Okay. But with that being said, great interview. As always, Carlos did a wonderful job. Again, I know a lot of people have their feelings about Carlos one way or another, but what I will always say, I support my people. And he's done nothing personal to me. I don't know him one way or another, but I think he does good interviews. And I think he gets out of the people what we really want to hear. And with that being said, you guys go and have a great rest of your day. Leave something in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm about 73 people away from hitting my 500 goal, and I want to get there at least before the spring, people. So I need 73 of y'all. If you just run across there, hit the like button and keep it pushing if you want to, okay? I mean, the subscribe button and keep it pushing. But yeah, with that being said, you guys go and have a great rest of your day. And this is Generation X Nation. And I'm out. Peace.